Everyone, I'm Hannah, and sorry I haven't posted a video in a while. Me and Dakota moved to California after we got married, finally. I do apologize for the sound. I'm going to be trying to get a microphone so that way hopefully it'll sound better and it won't sound like I'm in some big empty room, which I'm not. So today, I'm going to be going over what it's like for me to live with anxiety. So a couple things before I get started. One, I'm going to try and stop saying like holy shit. And two, me to go to get married. And three, my hair is all blonde. Well, it's like two different colors of blonde. I'm still in the process. I'm trying to get it a little bit more healthy before I completely fix it. But let's get started with my little list that I have. So the first thing that I want to go over is, calling people and talking to people on the phone. It may seem like a simple task to a lot of people, but with people with anxiety, it's not. Like it's like the end of the world. Like when somebody says, "Oh, go ahead and call them," I'm like, can I email them, text them? Is there any form of communication besides calling that I can do? I usually try to email people first or text them instead of calling, because usually when I call somebody, I will go over exactly what I'm gonna say like 10 times. I'll be like, "Hey, this is Hannah, I was just wondering, blah, 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 blah." I will seriously write a script of what I'm gonna say or a dialogue of what I'm gonna say before I call somebody. That's how bad it is. And usually I call them and then I feel like I'm gonna choke on my spit or my mouth is gonna get dry, or sometimes if I'm too nervous I'll stutter, or I sound dumb, I just sound like I don't know what I'm talking about, or people are just kind of especially if I'm calling a company or like a business or something like that, and I usually try to get it perfect, because then it also falls into I don't want them to judge me, and I just feel like if I don't talk in a certain tone or say words properly, then or word everything correctly, then they're gonna judge me, and then I'm always afraid too that the people are gonna be rude or disrespectful. I'm so afraid of that. And then that also kind of falls into when I go places. The other day I was gonna go to the Social Security office to get my name changed, and then I was gonna go to the DMV. Well, looked at the DMV and it's fucking huge, and I was like, holy shit, I can't go there alone. I don't like going places alone. Sometimes I have to force myself to in order to get things done. I was gonna go to the Social Security office today, and then for some reason they close at noon on Wednesdays. I don't know why, but I was kind of relieved, because I was like, okay, now I have an excuse not to go. But I know that I need to get that shit done, and it's really aggravating because I just don't want to go by myself. And then if I always feel like I have to be my makeup done, my outfit has to be nice before I go places like that, because then I'm always afraid they're gonna judge me. They're gonna be thinking I don't have a job and I don't care what my appearance looks like, or when I'm breaking out and I'm not wearing no makeup, I don't want them to think I'm a little teenager, or I'm 13 or something, because that's what I look like when I don't have makeup on, or they think I'm on drugs or something. And I don't want people to think that, so I always wear makeup when I go out. And Dakota hates it because he's always it takes too long, you look fine, blah, blah, blah. I don't think I look fine. I have to have makeup on. It's not that I think I feel pretty. I just like to be presentable to people. And then I'm always afraid when I go into places and I have to talk to somebody. It's 10 times worse in person than on the phone, because on the phone you're behind the phone, and then I can easily hang up. That would be bad too. But that's always an option. And then when you go into a place, then I gotta make eye contact, and then if I stutter, then it's I see the reaction, and then and then I have more chances of messing things up. It's I knock something over or I trip or something. I'm always afraid that I'm gonna embarrass myself. And usually when I go to a job interview, or even if there's something planned for work or school or something like that, I plan it out in my head. I will seriously picture myself walking into the building, asking for the people that I need to go to, and it's I play a little movie in my head of what I'm gonna do the next day. And so that way when that day comes, I'm prepared. And then I'll think of like plan B in case something happens. Like I'll come up with these different scenarios and I'll be like, okay, this is gonna happen, so then I can do this. That way I'm like prepared, and it kind of like calms me down a little bit, because I'll just stay up at night, you know, like till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning freaking out. Like it just like, I mean, anxiety is something that like you can't always explain to the people that don't understand it. And I mean, like sometimes Dakota doesn't understand it, because, you know, he'll just be like, just call them, you know, like it's fine, like just calm down. And that it aggravates me so much, because it's like you have to, I guess, experience it in order to like understand it, because you can't just tell somebody it's fine, just call them, it's no big deal. Like, yeah, it's no big deal, but like, you know, inside it is. And it's, I mean, it's not something that like I want to have. It's not something that I like choose to. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have anxiety. I'm gonna freak out because I want to, you know, I'm gonna call somebody on the phone, or I have to go inside a place. It's not my fault. And it's so hard to like explain that to people. And then, you know, when people tell me to calm down, I wish I could calm down. I wish I didn't have to stress about anything. I wish that I could just be like, if it happens, it happens. And sometimes I try to tell myself that. But like deep down, like I will always have that. I will always be stressing about things, you know, like anxiety is just something that I'm gonna have like my whole life. So when I go into restaurants and I go to order, I plan out what I'm gonna order. So like if I order like a hamburger and I only want ketchup on it, or I'll be like, oh, there's only like 3 things I want. Like I don't want the mayonnaise, the lettuce, and the tomatoes. So then I go over and be like, I like say to my head, just kind of like how I do the phone thing. I will like be like, okay, I'll be like, oh hi, I want this without this, this, and this. Like I will go over it, so that way when the waiter or waitress comes, I'm like, bam, no stuttering, no thinking about it, I can just spit it out. And then sometimes they'll just pop up and be like, are you ready? And then the people I'm with are like, yeah, we're ready. And I'm like, oh shit, you know? And then I kind of just gotta be like, yeah, I want this. I'm gonna be all awkward about it because I didn't have time to prepare myself and like prep it in my head. So then when I go shopping, or I guess it's just kind of shopping, or I guess, you know, other places that you have to like do things, you know, I don't like asking for help. So like, I'll just kind of keep walking around, and then if somebody comes up to me and it's like, oh, do you need some help, or do you need help finding anything? I will then ask them. Like, I have to be approached before I'm gonna talk. Because like, if I go in the store and I'm like, yeah, I don't think they have any more this size, it's fine, I don't need it. But if somebody came up to me, I'm like, yeah, actually, do you have this in this size? Because I'm not gonna make the effort to go ask them, because that's like way too much. That's like overboard, can't handle that, not prepared for that. So then this kind of relates back to the beginning of the video when I had said I plan things out in my head. Well, you know, it's always like, what if this, what if that, what if this, what if that? You know, like that's a huge part of like living with anxiety with me, because, you know, people will be like, oh, we're gonna go do this, or you're gonna meet this person, or, you know, you're gonna call this person, you gotta go do this. I'm like, okay, well, what if this happens? What if this happens? And I have to plan out different scenarios about those what ifs, you know. So I'll be like, what if they come to me this way, or what if they don't have that? And I'm like, okay, well then I'll ask this question, or I'll do it this way. And I try to like come up with the different things to like avoid myself from embarrassment, or, you know, humiliation or whatever, or like I always feel like I have to justify myself. So like if my hair is messy, or, you know, my makeup's doesn't look good to what I think it looks good, or I have something in my shirt, I like point it out, so that way people know that I know it's there, or that it's wrong. So that way I don't think that people are judging me. I mean, that's kind of like, I don't know if other people do that, but that's just like a couple things that I deal with anxiety. I probably forgot like a whole bunch that I deal with. I just can't think of anything. I'll probably make a video later on that's a lot longer. I just don't want this to be extremely long, because I know I don't like watching extremely long videos. So I'm sure other people probably don't. So I'm going to be doing videos probably every week. That way everybody will be updated, and I won't go like, I think my last video was in like April. I am so sorry. We, you know, found out we were going to California, and then we packed up, and it was just like all so sudden. I mean, that's another thing I was stressed out about, trying to find a place, you know, moving and, you know, driving up here. And it was like, well, let me tell you, it was like anxiety central. Okay. And then finally got everything packed up. I'll probably do a house tour or apartment. We don't live in a house, we live in an apartment. So that's about it for this video. I will probably be posting a video next week. I might do a story time because I only have one of those and I made a playlist for it. So I might as well make some. Be sure to subscribe and check out my other videos. You can also check me out on Snapchat and Instagram, Twitter. Me and Dakota do have an Instagram. Me and Dakota have a Facebook. It's called My Life with Dakota. We post our videos on there as well as our YouTube channel. I'll link the channel down below, so that way you guys can check that out. Me and Dakota are pretty funny together. We're still working on, you know, growing our channel and stuff, so don't judge me. And then if you can't get to that, then you can look us up on Facebook, and our YouTube link is in our description on Facebook. So see you guys next week. Bye!